Welcome back to Tech Tuesday on All Sides. I'm your host, Ann Fisher. With nonstop togetherness, families are having to acclimate to a new normal and adjust rules and routines to get them through the day. When it comes to kids and technology, experts say striking a balance is key. So, too, is striving for quality screen time. In its March issue, the Journal of the American Medical Association found that younger children's language skills suffered when screen time increased. So, another reason. Two factors mitigated the language loss when children engaged with educational material and when parents actively participated in the process. Warren Buckleitner is an educational psychologist who reviews children's interactive media. He's taught at the preschool, elementary, and college level. He's the founding editor of Children's Technology Review, and we welcome him back. It's been a long time. Hi, Warren.
It's been a while, and I'm glad we're both healthy, Ann.
Yep, so far so good. Why is it, what do you understand and know about why it's so difficult for parents to develop and practice consistent rules with screens and technology?
Well, I mean, in part, it's so fun, right? The screen for all of us is such a portal to wonder, and every answer is there, and the news is there, and it's so many things. And so kids are humans too. It's a little window of wonder, and so it's well, the kids would say, well, duh. But I think this is obviously has always been a controversial issue. It's been discussed and debated, and my friend Chip Donahue, who's also a Fred Rogers Senior Fellow, says that it's not about screen time, it's about time. And it's really, I think, important during this time when we're all together as families to really focus on the time and whether or not screens are involved or not. That's the big thing to think about.
And what do you mean by that is quality time? Is it quality?
Quality, and there are lots of ways you can use a screen to enhance that. Build relationships with your child, as opposed to them going away and being isolated in a game of Fortnite, for the next 3 days. You're missing an opportunity. And I think right now is such a rare opportunity for families to be together where a lot of distractions have been cut away involuntarily. And so use this as a time to build those relationships. And if a screen's involved, fine. Actually, the screen can help us the technology can help us be together. And I'm seeing wonderful uses of technology, such as library story hours on Facebook Live. And, I just taught my class with using Zoom yesterday. And I have to say, it was wonderful. The students all had a chance to share their home environments, and, they put their dogs and cats on the screen for a while. And it was so cool. So, this isn't all bad.
It is kind of interesting, how lucky we are in this distancing between each other that we do have social media. I mean, I'm able to listen to front porch concerts, neighborhood sing-alongs. There's all kinds of things that we're sharing online that we never really used to do.
And, I'm down here in Georgia with my daughters. Both daughters are with me and my grandson. And, there's an elderly person next door. And so we're having some wonderful across the back fence conversations and sharing things and recipes. And that wouldn't have happened if it weren't for this sort of forced situation.
When we contacted you the other day, you were using virtual reality to go rock climbing, which sounds really, really cool. Although I'm a little afraid of heights. But what interactive tools do you recommend for homebound kids?
Well, if you have it, the Oculus Quest is a really important new platform. Oculus is owned by Facebook. It's cool because I happen to throw mine in the suitcase before I came down. It's $400. It's self-contained, so no computer required. It does need to be online to download the app. The app that I was using is called The Climb, and $30. And you think you're on the face of a granite cliff, and birds are flying around you, and you work up a sweat and you start moving, and you take off your goggles, and there you are in your living room. And so if you haven't tried VR, I think this platform is important because it's sort of a tipping point for the whole VR thing that we've been watching for a long time, in that it's under $500. It's a standalone, and it just works.
I'm kind of excited about that. How are you, now we have kids that from birth are being exposed to screen time, being exposed to technology that I'm still in wonder over, frankly. Is that changing appropriate limits for kids in technology over time? Is it changing how we measure that?
It's a great question, Ann. Technology is part of culture. It's part of the overarching kinds of rules and the way our humans relate to each other. And we're 2020, and this whole coronavirus thing has really pushed us into involuntarily again. 2020 is going to go down as the year where we look back on, before and after. And kids are right in the middle of that. And the children are watching everything about what their parents do. And, technology can be your best friend, and it can be your worst enemy. I think it's really critical to focus on the important things, just like with food. You focus on good nutrition over junk food all the time. You got to make technology, and always think about it before you turn on an app or a device. Think about, does this make my relationships and my life better? Do I walk away from the experience with something good and, quote, nutritious that I didn't have when I first came to the experience? And I think that's a really good way of sort of gauging it. And we all need to do that for ourselves, because every one of us has a unique family or child situation.
I know there are a lot of young people listening out there. They do every day. Maybe they're forced to, but they're probably a lot more than usual because they're home from school. Some kids listen to the show for school, as homeschooled kids do. If you have some ideas about what apps you think give you that sense, are nutritious apps, but also fun, enjoyable, give us a call. I'd like to hear what you think. 614-292-8513, or email us at allsides@wosu.org. So let's talk about some apps. What you think makes a good app for a kid?
Yeah, well, I have a 1.5-year-old grandson that I've really been having a blast with. And my daughter is very leery of Grandpa and his iPad. And so it's funny because the ultimate irony is she was my guinea pig when I raised her, and she had every screen in the world, to test. But she says, Dad, not so much time on that iPad. But we're using My Very Hungry Caterpillar. It's very important to remember the word my. So get the right one. It's from Story Toys. And the two of us sit down together, and everything is finger driven. So my grandson has learned that he can tap the egg and move the fruit, feed the caterpillar, and it's an experience that enhances his control. And so that gives us a lot of wiggle room for us to take turns and talk. And it's one of his favorite activities right now. He'll run and get the iPad, and that's the app he starts. And so it's called My Very Hungry Caterpillar. It's $3. Get it for, I'm sure it's iOS. I don't know. It might be on Android, but that's just such a wonderful.
It's based on the Eric Carle series, right?
Yeah, it's Eric Carle's. It's all the original art, and it's great. The other thing that I'm using with him is all the Sago mini apps. So those are, again, designed around child control, child engagement, and they all have multi-touch. So you can have your finger on the screen, they have their finger on the screen. You can feed the animals together, and that's an example of using this medium to enrich our. I'm building a bond. It's so precious, and I think I'm going to walk away from this time as like, I'm so lucky. Somebody, it's like someone was watching out for us. Go down to Georgia, spend some real quality time, and so I'm getting that.
Is that where you're at in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm down in Georgia and taught my class in my New Jersey, my TC&J class remotely yesterday, and I'm scary because I'd never done it before, but it worked.
You talk about child control. What do you mean by that?
So basically, a good way to assess an app is if you walk out of the room or if you leave, does it wait for you? Many experiences for kids, including TV, will push the content at the child. It does, television doesn't care if you're in the room or not. Good digital experiences for children will interact, so it's a turn-based, back and forth, and so that is what I mean by that. It's kind of like human metaphor. If you sit down with someone who talks too much, you want to turn them off, and every app should be designed so, particularly for younger children, so that the child can drive the experience and it's a back and forth. So not too many designers understand that, but fortunately there are quite a few that do, and their stuff's out there.
You suggest using a smart speaker to stay on task.
Yeah.
How does that help?
Well, I suggested that just because daily routine is so important. So, parents right now are like, oh man, I got a house full of kids. How do I survive? And any teacher knows that you set up a daily schedule and you stick to it, and use your smart speaker for reminders. So try to keep the sequence of events sort of consistent, and kids will settle down. And so I know everyone has different aged kids, but it'll remind children, and you sort of walk you through the day as sort of your GPS for time. Both Amazon's and Google's are outstanding. And also your Google Calendar, you can program that to sort of important reminders and so on. We're using our smart speaker for animal sounds right now. So, just ask.
And it's something your kid can help you program.
Well, you can make your list together.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Have a family meeting and kind of say, guys, what are we going to do? And also plan meals out. We try to make a special supper, and we work on it all day together. And so, we had this amazing pesto sauce last night on pasta that it was slow. It was a slow experience. And, rather than sort of grabbing something, we're sitting down and really enjoying the food that we're making. And it's such a rich experience. I'm sure other people are having that too, but having fun with it.
Let's see. Braden in Norwood, you're on the air. Hi, Braden.
Hi.
Go ahead.
So I was calling to talk about the apps that we use for my baby sister.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we have her on an iPad, and we use a lot of entertainment apps like YouTube Kids and PBS TV. I don't know what the name of it is called. And she seems to really like those.
Yeah, PBS has some really good apps, and there's no cost for them. The TV one is a great way to deliver PBS programming. It sounds like you're doing the right thing.
Hey, Braden. Braden?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
So,
I'm in 10th grade.
Yeah, okay. And 2-year-old baby sister. So are you at home, or do you usually homeschooled?
What was your question again?
Well, are you usually at home, or are you homeschooled?
I'm not homeschooled.
Okay, so you're home from school now.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
Our school has been closed.
Yeah. Are you doing long distance? Are you doing long distance learning too?
Yes.
How's that going?
I think it's going all right.
You like it okay?
I really miss the social aspects of school.
Exactly.
Which is one of the things that I really enjoyed about it, but the learning is almost the same, just without the help of teachers there with you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Braden,
go ahead.
What tools are you using to deliver the lessons?
We use Google Classroom.
Okay.
And Google Drive to do the work.
Yep. Yeah, we use Google Docs, Google Drive here.
Yeah.
Works pretty well.
And so most of our teachers update us through Google Classroom and post like online assignments for us to do. And
well, you sounded like a really great big brother. How old is your
Are you brother or sister? I can't tell.
I'm a brother.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry too, yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're it's your little sister, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's lucky.
Yeah, she's
lucky to have. And that's the important thing is, take the time to play this stuff together and watch what the child, watch what people are doing and see if it feels good about it. You mentioned YouTube, and YouTube has got a lot of really great videos to watch together, and we also use YouTube to watch, especially for cooking things, and just we were watching some wolf videos yesterday, and it's so fun to sort of sit down and watch those together.
Braden, thank you for listening to my call out, and thanks for calling. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Enjoy your 2-year-old baby sister.
I will.
Okay, take care.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yep. Let's see. Peter and Worthington, you're on the... No, Peter... Let Peter go. Let me put Peter on the air. There we go. Hi, Peter. You're on the air.
Yes, I think it's very important for children to learn to read, to be motivated. We have to motivate them.
Mm-hmm.
And when we read to a child, what we're doing is we're modeling for them. Now ask yourself, what's the child thinking in his brain while you're reading to him? He's looking up at you and he's thinking, oh, mommy likes books. I really have to like books too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're doing. You're modeling for these children.
Yeah.
So later when they're out of preschool and into first grade, they're going to take right off like a jet. They're going to really look for books to read, and they're going to do well. They're going to become very articulate. My nephew's mom is the daughter of an ambassador, and her kids are all gifted. Why? She reads them every night, all 3 of them.
So,
and this is
do you have
really
any
basic.
Do you have favorite books that you're reading right now?
Well, you're going to laugh. I'm 81 years old. But I read a really cute thing from the Disney Press. It was a New York Times bestseller. It's about a little Chinese girl. It's modeled on Mulan. It's a takeoff on Mulan, and it's so cute. And it's like better than Harry Potter, really, because the adventures of Mulan. And this girl has a little backpack, and in the backpack is a jade rabbit. Wow, and he's a magic jade rabbit. And it just goes on and on. So this is what Einstein said. He said, read fairy tales to your children.
Yeah.
In fact, there might even be a book out entitled Einstein's Favorite Fairy Tales. But this is the thing. We have to really motivate our kids to read. What if the electricity stops and we don't have any
Yeah,
apps?
no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, I'm going to move on to one more caller, and thank you so much for your call. Always a good suggestion, reading and any kind of apps that can help and incorporate reading into our life.
Real fast, I think Peter's making a great point that it's not an either or with the technology. Technology shouldn't replace books. We're using, we're reading a lot, and this is actually a great time to get into some books. So children's books especially. So, rediscover some of those classics.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Thank you, Peter, for that. And one more quick call from Kim and Powell. Hi, Kim, you're on the air.
Hi, Ann. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I just wanted to put my 2 cents in about technology and young children. I have an 8-year-old grandson who's high spectrum autistic. And from the time he could crawl, he would play with apps that gave him self-control. And one of the things he had trouble with when he started to go to school was his emotional control, self-control. And he got much better in learning to control things with the app and with the different games. Even now, he finds some peace and self-control when he plays video games.
Very good
point. And he's very adept at it. He's very, very adept. But he has been mainstreamed into the school system, and he is performing at a third grade reading level and math level.
Wow.
The only issues he does have are his emotional meltdowns sometimes.
Yeah.
So
that's a really great
doing
point.
Very well.
Again, another upside of technology that we often forget about. Warren Buckleitner, we are out of time. I got to let you go, but thank you so much. I hope you'll come back.
Yeah, stay safe, everybody, and thanks, Ann, for having me.
You bet. Warren Buckleitner is editor of Children's Technology Review. Coming up, we're going to hear from Russell Howley, contributing editor at Android Central. Haven't heard from him in a few weeks because we've been preempted by other things. So stay with us. This is Tech Tuesday on All Sides with Ann Fisher on 89.7 NPR News.